Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Today in Tech. This week's blog post will be talking about, in addition to my database that I created last week using CRUD commands, which was built from both the physical and conceptual entity relationship diagram that we've been continuously working on here for a few weeks now. So, just again, this is my database showing one's risk of contracting COVID-19, filled out with example tuples. This week, we're going to be talking about what makes data normal and different classifications of normal data, and how the tools of using normal data can be used to kind of optimize your database, make it more user friendly, more readable overall. So I guess we'll get right into it. The first type of data I want to talk about is first order normal data. Normal data can be classified through six different types of normal data, each being inclusive of the previous subset, I guess, if you will. So, for example, if something's third order normal data, then it has to meet all classifications of first and second as well. So first order normal data, is classified as such because, um, sorry about that, I had technical difficulties there. First order normal data is classified as such because it's got to be unique to a primary key. The data also has to be reduced as far as it can without any repeated groups within the subset. So, for example, here, if we look at my occupation data table, it's unique with a primary key of occupation ID, which is then indicative of the rest of the data set as well. There are no repeats in the columns here, and the data is reduced to its most raw state. As you can see, Boolean's used through several of these columns to convey different practices based on what might one be doing for work. So you can see how the primary key again is the occupation ID, and then the rest of the data is reduced. So that would be first order normal data. Another thing that we can do to try and simplify our data table is look for some pieces of data that might be repeated of each other and kind of not necessary to include in your data table. So if we look at here, my patient data table, you see I have a column of family history and existing conditions. Now, like I mentioned, this was built from using entity relationship diagrams, so I didn't catch this at first, but we can use something called the alter command within SQL. So if we go in here and say alter table, and then this is the patient table. And then below that, we could say drop column, let's say existing conditions. Actually, let's do family history. So now it's just going to show existing conditions rather than family history as well. So we could say go. And then if we go back here, you see there's no more family history. It's now just existing conditions. So again, just kind of making it more reader friendly. Last but not least, I'll move into the next portion of normal data, second form. As you can see here, to be second normal form data, it has to, like I said before, fulfill all qualifications of being first normal form. But then as well, it has to be exclusively reliant on the table's primary key. So if you look here, the hospital ID is directly related to all of these attributes of what the hospital might hold. So based on the hospital's ID, that's then it's going to determine its capacity, number of COVID patients, available staff, number of beds, and so on. So all these pieces of data are directly related back and unique to the hospital ID, making this second order normal data. So again, these are just kind of tools that once you build out your table with example tuples, you can then kind of just kind of optimize it and make it more reader friendly overall. So thank you for watching, and that's bringing you to the end of this video. Stay tuned for next week.